My name is Carina Gardner, and I'm what you would call a practical designer. If you're ready to create a life that you love, become an incredible force for good, and generate income while pursuing your dreams, this is the podcast for you. Welcome to Make and Design. Hey designers, today I want to do some positive talk on AI because I know so many of you are nervous about it, scared of it, you don't like it. I mean, I had to talk my daughter off the ledge about AI because she's in animation, but you guys, there are some things that AI can be your very best friend about, even if you're nervous about some of the other things that it does. And I just want to say, especially at this stage, you shouldn't be nervous about it. It's not going to replace you, especially if you are rocking out and you are showing up with style and you are providing in a volume method. You're going to be just fine. But I wanted to point out and talk to you about 12 ways that you can use AI that might be really helpful for your current business, because there are really some amazing things that you can do in your business using AI, okay? And I actually have really high hopes for those of us who are in product categories like SVG, laser, 3D. There are some things that have to be done that, man, it would be so great if AI did for us. Right now you can do auto batches in Illustrator and Photoshop, but there might be some new things as they kind of figure out the best ways to build it for us when it comes to AI, okay? So the first one is, and I'm gonna go through these fast, you guys, because I think that you can really, really win with AI if you're being smart about it. So the first one is automating repetitive tasks. So there are a ton of very mundane tasks that none of us want to do. They're repetitive, and it would free us to do more of the creative work, right? Because we want to really spend most of our time on our creative work. So one of the examples of this is using Adobe Photoshop's AI-powered generative fill to remove backgrounds. You guys, I used to spend an amazing amount of time teaching designers how to extract by hand. We would literally take, and we have to be good on our Wacom tablet, because then we'd have to draw all the way around something and clean it up. Okay. It fills in the gaps of the images automatically if you want to do generative AI. But when we're talking about just extraction, quick extraction, the contextual toolbar does it so well. Okay. So I should preface this by saying sometimes it's just a little too well and it cuts into things you don't want. It's still so much faster than the old way I used to show people how to do this. In fact, if you want to watch a video from 10 years ago, I believe on my YouTube channel at youtube.com/Carina Gardner, there's a video showing you how I cut out a silhouette of my child's face so I can do a beautiful black silhouette screen print. And it's all done manually. So that's a pretty cool task that is just one way that you should be using AI. All right, number 2 is accelerating ideation and concept development. So a lot of us spend a lot of time in ideation. We should be going fast through this piece, okay? So I think there are great tools out there. There's one called, I don't even know how to say it, DAL-E2. Or of course Midjourney or Firefly, where they'll come up with visual ideas. I don't think this is in any way taking over what you should be doing. We will take those ideas, especially in our company, and be like, oh, that's a great idea. We wouldn't have come up with that idea. How about we do this with it? It's generally not our last minute or our last thing that we end up using. It's just there for idea generation. And I spoke to my daughter about this because she was like, oh, I hate that. And I was just like, well, what are you doing for idea generation now? And she was like, well, you go on Google. And I'm like, so basically you're going on to Google and it's doing the exact same thing that AI is doing. The only difference is you're looking at people's actual work, and without knowing it, you might be copying it. So that's why I like AI. And yes, AI does pull from everybody's work, but at least it's mixed up enough that you're not just pulling directly from someone else's actual work. I actually think you are more likely to run into copyright issues doing it from Google, which is the way most people are getting their ideas, or Pinterest, than you are from AI. Okay. Number 3, customization and personalization. So AI can create highly personalized designs tailored to specific user needs or preferences. So for example, let's see, I don't know if I can say this. The AI Magic Design does custom templates in Canva. Now, you guys know I don't love Canva, but it is useful, especially for business owners when you are creating, for example, content. And so if you can use these customizable templates that will really quick build things for you, change your color for preferences, industry, type of project, and it's already set up in there for you, it will make all your stuff look a lot more attractive and make you go faster. Content's one of the places, especially as a business owner, that we want to be going faster because content takes up a lot of time and we want to be spending more time in the creative work. Okay. Number 4 is real-time feedback and iteration. So I really like AI for this, especially when you work by yourself. And many of us designers and artists, we work alone. And we don't have someone to give us feedback. AI can provide instant suggestions and critiques. So maybe not on your design work, but what about on your emails? What about on your copy for your descriptions? What about keywords? So AI can be really great for these things because it can make sure that you're thinking in the right path. Does it mean I use all of them? No, I do not. So I don't use all the suggestions that it gives me, but I like that, instead of me having to call someone and be like, hey, will you just take a look at this? I can just use AI really quick to give me a little bit of feedback to see if I'm on the right track. Okay. Now, there are tools like Grammarly for copy integration or Figma plugins that can suggest layout improvements or color harmonies. And I think we're going to see more of that. Those are tools meant to just help designers, right? Okay, number 5. Accessibility to advanced techniques. So AI has democratized complex processes that were previously time-consuming or required really specialized knowledge. So, for example, Runway AI enables video editing with simple prompts, such as changing backgrounds or generating motion effects. I think this is really good for those of you who are in content, doing video editing. There are just lots of things that maybe I wouldn't have known how to do, but AI is doing for me. So I'm thinking about, for example, in ScreenFlow, I know how to do like a fade in, fade out. It's really basic for me. But if I could use an AI tool that very easily did something to my graphics for me in my videos that I wouldn't know how to do normally, then that's a big fat win for me, right? So the next one is number 6, and it says it's called enhanced collaboration. Okay, I love this because it allows us as designers to meet with clients better. It can allow us to work with other designers or design teams. We can work under a creative director better. And a lot of it has to do with the types of AI tools being used for us. And that might include things like Miro AI, which allows collaborative brainstorming. And then AI will organize all the ideas into coherent visual maps, which is incredible. So being able to work with other people in a virtual environment, this could be a really, really cool thing for a lot of us. Okay. Data-driven design. So this is number 7, and this is one of the things that I really hope that you guys are starting to think about, especially those of you in Design Suite, because you guys know I like Excel sheets for this kind of thing. But I'm hoping AI can continue to analyze our user data to create designs that optimize for selling, right? But also usability and engagement. Let me give you an example of this. So Adobe XD has an AI-driven user journey predictions. And what it does is it helps designers anticipate how users will interact with an interface. Okay, so this is more for like those of you in web design. But I think this is where we're headed. I don't know exactly where this is going, but I will tell you, especially as we are gathering data on our own design work, wouldn't it be amazing to be able to dump it into some kind of system, take all this data, and tell me what's selling the best, so I'm not just digging for it. Tell me what is making the most money. Tell me what has sold the longest over the longest, shorter period of time. That's the kind of data I actually don't have, or I could have, but I just don't analyze in my own Excel sheets. I can see very easily what's making the most money this week. I can see what's easily making, has the most sales, like numbers on it this week or this month or even the last 12 months. But I actually don't know, do I have designs that have consistently performed over the last 2 years? How about 5 years? How about 10 years? What if I could take the data from all of my design work and all the sales I'm doing and find that out? That would be interesting, right? And that's the kind of data that I think AI could eventually help us with. I think right now I'm just doing it manually, right? Okay, number 8 is typography and font matching. So AI tools can identify and suggest typefaces, saving time in font selection and ensuring coherence. I actually think this is a big deal because a lot of us spend a lot of time looking at types, especially those that have not gotten a lot of typography education. So I have a lot of fonts memorized because I just had to. I taught type, right? And so there's probably 20 or 30 fonts I have memorized, and I could just tell you based on seeing them that's, X, Y, and Z font. If you aren't doing that, if you're not memorizing fonts, like understanding what the G or the A or the L or the B looks like, right? This could really be very helpful, especially if you know what a good classic font is or one that you like and say, hey, I would love a Helvetica. Give me all newer modern fonts that are related or look like Helvetica. Oh man, how good would that be, right? I would love something like that because we spend an awful lot of time looking for fonts. All right, number 9 is prototyping and mock-ups. And I think that this is going to get better and better. I teach at the University of Arts and Design, and in Design Suite, we have a class that is on AI. And one of the things we teach are mock-ups. So AI can generate quick prototypes or mock-ups, and these are fantastic for pitches, for presentations. For many of us, it's great for our online platform so that we can show multiple images. So there are lots of plugins like Sketch and Figma AI, but I also just like Adobe Firefly for this. Okay, so it really does create a faster turnaround time for feedback, especially client feedback, if those of you who are working in freelance, but it's really awesome for selling your own products. Okay, number 10 is cost and resource savings. So AI reduces the need for large teams. And so those of you who are starting your own business, you have accessibility to the kind of help that even big companies are getting. Because what it's doing is it's outsourcing and enabling a single designer to handle multiple aspects of a project. So examples would be like Jasper AI, which generates marketing copy, which means you don't have to pay into copywriting services, or if you're not great with copy, which I'm not the best with copy, you really get to dig in and use something that's going to look very professional. All right, 11 is, I told you I was going to go fast. 11 is cross-disciplinary opportunities. So AI tools allow designers to easily branch into adjacent fields like web development and video editing. In fact, this is a really interesting thing because our first social media manager, her name was McKenna, who you guys can see her on my YouTube channel because she was our photographer for our oh my gosh, what video was it? It was like third video we did in the year or second video. I can't remember. She did the photography for our summit, our Sweet Life of a Designer Summit. And her degree is actually in graphic design. But she was our social media specialist, and now she's a freelance photographer. And one of the things I like about design, and I always tell my kids this because I think design is a great backup for anybody, is the great thing about design is that there are so many side things that make you a better whatever those things are because you took design. So I think McKenna is a better photographer because she understands all the vocabulary. She knows where a subject ought to be. She understands where the focal point needs to be. And her eye has been simulated to understand color, right? That's also going to make her a great photographer. But she also has the software skills to do the graphic design work to make sure that it's good, right? Same with video editing or dealing with content or doing social media. She was really, really good at it because she understood the way things needed to look. And so I think there's a ton of opportunity for designers who are using AI that maybe they don't know as much about web design, but there's enough tools out there to help you get started if you really wanted to get into web development because you have the eye and the ability to already do stuff in design, which is pretty darn cool. Our last one is 12 eco-friendly design practices. So AI can optimize designs for sustainability, such as minimizing resources used in print projects. So AI tools like Printify optimize layouts to reduce paper waste in packaging design. And you can see that now, especially as, we even do printing for fabric now digitally. Not as good as the fabric we still create and manufacture like in South Korea, but it is way more economically better for the environment because there's just not as much waste, which is pretty darn cool. So I just think that most people don't realize that AI has been pretty much around. We're just now kind of talking about it, and there's all these things that have been happening underlying everything that we've been doing as designers, and it's becoming better and better and better and better. And the point is to empower us and push our creative boundaries, optimize our workflows, and deliver higher quality projects. And that is really what we're trying to do as designers. And I hope that some of these tools maybe just got you thinking, are you going to use them all? No, you're probably not. But it hopefully gets you thinking about how AI can really, really help you. And it's not as horrible as you think it's going to be. I always tell people it's a little bit like we all thought like it was going to be like the Jetsons in the 1950s. That might be what the future is going to look like. And it's just not, right? We still all have little tiny phones that tell us everything what to do, but we're not all getting on a conveyor belt and eating our breakfast and showering that way. AI, I think, is going to have its own evolution, its own morphing, and the way we use it's going to morph, but I don't think it's going to be quite as scary as we think, and I think there's going to be a ton of benefits to it. Are there going to be some, things that maybe we don't like? Yeah, for sure, 100%. But I would say right now, if you can focus on the things that can help you in your business, that's the way to really think about this.
Did you know you have access to more free design content, die cut files, and sewing patterns? Join our exclusive VIP group for free by going to designsweetcourses.com/free.